From downtown Scranton, this is Northeast Current. WQPX invites you to join us as we explore public affairs, current events, and arts and culture in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Now, let's meet today's guests on Northeast Current.
Welcome to Northeast Current. I'm your host today, Bernie Mayapolsky, and I'm here with our friend, Paul Trama, from the Lackawanna Blind Association.
Well, thanks for having me, Bernie.
Thanks for coming back,
yes.
Paul.
I was here about 10 years ago, and it's nice to be back.
It's your 10-year anniversary.
How about that? Nice to be back.
Well, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
And so we're here to talk about your role in the Lackawanna Blind Association, and specifically as the coordinator of the PELL Radio Reading Services.
Yes.
Which is very interesting. Could you tell us some more?
Yes, Bernie. I'm the coordinator of the PELL Radio Reading Service. We broadcast the Times Tribune Monday through Friday between 8 and 10 a.m. on WUSR 99.5 FM, which is the University of Scranton's radio station.
Okay.
The last time I was here 10 years ago, we were broadcasting on a subcarrier of WVIA, but as of, it'll be 6 years in September of 2009, we partnered with the University of Scranton, and the broadcast is primarily meant for the visually impaired. However, anyone with a regular FM radio can hear it. And we're on, like you said, from 8 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. We read quite a bit in the 2 hours from the Times Tribune newspaper.
So you read right from the newspaper?
We read exactly from the newspaper, all the details from the articles, word for word. We read major local news, obituaries,
I bet the obituaries are pretty popular.
Obituaries are the most popular part of the broadcast. A lot of people kind of chuckle when you say that, but they are the most popular part, and we read, everybody unfortunately wants to know who's friends that have passed away, people that you knew over the years, and editorials and other feature items. And this, what is unique, we've always said throughout the years about this area and with why radio reading is so popular, is that people, it's with a small community. People love to hear the names. They love to hear love to hear about
That's why they read the newspaper here too.
Exactly.
The newspaper is very popular here.
Exactly, and people love to hear when something good happens, and unfortunately people like to hear when something bad. It's human nature.
You read everything? How much? I mean, do you go right into the courthouse notes?
We usually don't get to the courthouse notes unless it's a major story.
Yeah, right.
That
who got divorced and who owes money and the tax liens, you leave that out?
In the 2 hours we cover the entire front page, local news, a little bit of national news and state news, if it pertains to our audience, and also, like I said, the obituaries and the editorial pages, the editorial column of the newspaper.
Not the individual editorials?
And the letters to the editor.
Oh, you do read the letters to the editor?
Are very popular.
That's
People like to know.
Sure.
They say, oh, did you see the
Myself,
letter
I read
Bernie
those in the morning.
had in today? Right. And what we do before we read the letters, we have a disclaimer that the views and opinions are not necessarily ours. And also any of the health items, anything that pertains to our audience. And we've gotten, since we've partnered with the university, we have gotten such great response to the program. Years ago when we did it on our old system, it was kind of a every once in a while hit and miss thing, but now not a week goes by where somebody doesn't say they enjoy it.
They call in and
call in, or we see somebody on the he says, oh, I heard that, and we'll even get people who will call and say, oh, I heard that article, what was that about? So it's been really an exceptional program. The university has been great to us. They have state-of-the-art facilities.
I bet. Is it a good? What's the reach? How far?
Their range. They cover the entire Scranton and Wilkes-Barre area.
Oh, right. Okay.
The entire Scranton Wilkes-Barre area, and they're also, besides on 99.5 FM, the broadcast is also heard on their website, WUSRFM.com.
So people can listen
and
online.
for all the real tech-savvy people, you could get the app and everything, all that. That fancy stuff. But it's been really excellent, and I'm the coordinator of the program. We have 20 volunteers that rotate reading the newspaper.
Oh, the 20 volunteers read. Okay.
Right. We work in teams because we do read it. It is live. Nothing's from 8 to 10 a.m. It's live. I always say live without a net.
So somebody doesn't read for the whole 2 hours straight?
We always have
that
two
would get,
people. That gets a little tough.
I could imagine.
We have two people who read, and and most of the people that do read have been with us for a good 20 years or so. We have people from all walks of life. We have teachers, we have some business owners, some professional people, and we always say the we just want somebody with a clear, understandable voice.
Oh, I see,
and
right.
We read. I always tell the readers to lend themselves to the material. Sometimes you're not going to read a major news story the same way you're going to read a light story or the obituary the way you're going to read.
Oh, right. Sort of read it with a little dramatic flair.
Right, yeah. And
there was a 3-car pile up today, and sort of a little cross between radio and newspaper, but it's more in depth. Is that why somebody could just listen to CNN or some other news station?
That's a good question, Bernie. A very often asked question about radio reading is, what's the difference between radio reading service and commercial radio? Again, like you said, we read everything in detail, everything word for word. And the Times Tribune is nice enough to give us a complimentary subscription to the newspaper. We are exempt from copyright.
Oh, right, because you couldn't just go do that.
The only thing that is asked, that when we do read the article, that we do give credit to the writer.
Okay.
We do give credit to the writer.
Maybe they could have you sell the ads. You could read the ads on the side. Oh, and there's a deal at Southside Seafood over here. Clams,
that we get
$7.99 a pound.
In the old format. Well, it's funny you should say that. In the old format, we did used to have a program. It was called filling the market basket. We did used to read the supermarket ads.
All right,
but in our
that
was But in our own in this format now we don't do that. But it's like I said, we do cover quite a bit, and everything it varies. There's some days when there's again, you can't predict. And a lot of times even the volunteers will ask me, well, what are they really interested in this article? Well, someone's not going to be interested in every single article you read.
Right.
But if they like 3 or 4 articles, that'll catch their attention.
So you do get feedback.
Oh, we do. Yeah. And it's funny. You never know what is going to grab someone's attention. Something, an article that you and I might just scan over, not even read, might just strike someone else.
I was thinking it's a very great service for the visually impaired, but somebody that's driving that's not visually impaired might want to.
And we have gotten
listen to the newspaper.
We have gotten input response on that level, and it's also besides being a source of information, it is also a source of companionship. Plus, we give weather updates in the morning, and we have news we also have other network news updates if something breaking news happens, and we have capabilities of plugging that in. So it's really like I said, getting up there with state-of-the-art facility, everything it goes very smoothly.
I'll tell you, it's a very good service. It's something I didn't know about that was available.
And we're very fortunate having cooperation from the university and just from because right around the time that we partnered with the university in 2009. Unfortunately, several of the other radio reading services across the state had closed up because of funding problems. So we were very fortunate.
Right. Yeah, it's good to have an institution like that here. It's so
it's 8 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday on 99.5 WUSR FM.
FM and online.
And online, WUSRFM.com.
And so, what other services do you offer at the Blind Association?
Okay, Bernie, our Lackawanna Blind Association offers client support services.
Okay.
And oftentimes, when a person first finds out that they're having a vision problem, one of the toughest things is adjusting to it. So we have support services. We have caseworkers who assess them, find out what their needs are. There are a lot of people who were born with visual impairment. A lot of people living longer, visual impairment coming up.
Sure, that's
later
probably more
in life.
difficult.
And that is more. You're right, Bernie. It is more difficult. So we emphasize that they're with their peers. Now, besides at the Blind Association facilities, which are located at 228 Adams Avenue in downtown Scranton,
right on Adams Avenue.
We have several activities. We have a sensory development program every Tuesday and Friday. Clients come in and work on a project with an instructor.
Okay.
And also students from the University of Scranton's physical therapy department also assist with that. That's something that's been very, very successful. And again, it's free. We have a 11-passenger van that.
Oh, you pick them up. I was wondering how they get there.
That's correct. I'm getting to that 11-passenger van that picks up clients at their home, takes them to the Blind Association, and returns them. We call it door-to-door transportation.
Okay.
It's just all that is asked is that they sign up for it.
Okay.
So because the van, it is just allowed 11 people. Now, if more could come in on their own, that's fine. Besides the sensory development program, we also have a life skills program. We'll have a speaker, or we have a dietitian who comes in every week, talks about health, dietary concerns.
Do you have new people all the time, or some of the old, and some people that come all the time?
There's one woman who's been coming in for several years, usually comes in every week, and occasionally we'll have a special guest speaker, somebody from one of the local organizations, maybe the police department or the fire department, and that's
I guess I mean the clients, they come in.
The clients are usually the same group of, not always the same, different ones come in. We have a core group that have been coming for years, and we are always,
And I imagine they help each other, and then when somebody new comes in, they help them.
That's right. That's you hit the nail on the head. They working with their peers, and it's very helpful. Also, we have a support group which meets once a month.
Okay,
Again, same thing.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, you're new to this, and all of a sudden, but you have these people say, "Look, we come every day, and
we come every day. Don't be afraid." Right. And we have one of our caseworkers moderates the support group, and they'll deal with a different issue and and ask them, maybe what problems are you having, and it's great. It really works out.
I know something. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just had the thought they may be the only people left in the world that are actually interact with other people.
That's right.
Not instead of just sticking their head in their phones.
Exactly.
Really, I mean, really.
Right, and they love it, and they also once a month we have an audio book club. Now this audiobook is separate from radio reading. These are books that are available, just the ones that you and I would read, the audio book. We have a moderator. In fact, the woman who moderates the audio book club also is one of my radio reading service volunteers.
Okay.
And they pick a book every month, and they are now downloaded special. You said one time
used to be tapes, and then you had CDs.
Now it's a special USB download for it, and it's a special machine for it too, which is available free from the Library of Congress.
Okay.
So again,
so you get a lot of books.
Right, exactly. They discuss that just like you and I, or we discuss the book.
Right.
And again, we always tell them there's no right or wrong answers. Again, they'll come in and say, hey,
sure, it's a book club.
Exactly.
Right, but audio book club.
Right. And besides that, another one of our activities is a movie day every month, and we have this. We get movies that are audio described for the visually impaired. We were talking a little bit about that before.
Tell us about that. That's very interesting. I never realized that.
Audio description is something, it's been in existence for well over 20 years now. And their TV networks are required a certain percentage to be audio described. Most movies that you can get are described audio. What it is, it's another voice describing what is going on. You'll say, Bernie walks in, he's wearing a gray suit. He talks to Paul and then the regular dialogue audio of the movie will come on, and they love that. We have that once a month. We show it on a big screen TV in our Blind Association lounge, and they have popcorn and snacks and pizza. So it's just like
you showed on the TV. Could some people see some?
So yes, there are some who do have a certain vision acuity who likes it, and again, like we say, helping out. Sometimes they'll, somebody with a little bit lesser vision, they'll help them along. And again, we always have, any of the programs that we have, sensory development or support group or the movies, book club, we always have a caseworker, staff member on hand who's there to assist them.
So how long have you been involved, and how did you get involved in this
How I got involved with the Blind Association? I got involved with the radio reading service when I was a student at the University of Scranton back in 1981. I was taking a radio production class, and the instructor told me about it, and that was still a relatively new concept. And I volunteered there from 1981 to 1989, worked at a little commercial radio, and then got a job there. And in fact, I always kid volunteers. I say, you play your cards right, you might get a job. And I've been there ever since 1989.
Wow.
So I love it. It's been we've been, like I said, we've been so fortunate to have such great volunteers. Very good volunteers.
You're fortunate yourself to be able to have a career that you've been able to give back your whole life.
I always say, right.
I mean, every day you wake up and you're not just trying to chase a dollar. You're helping people every day.
Yes, and very dedicated volunteers. And like I said, it's a joy. It's really it is very fulfilling. And besides that, we also have a very active prevention of blindness program. Besides dealing with people who have lost vision, we also want to educate people about prevention of blindness. The
general public.
There you go, prevention of blindness. We have a woman who coordinates a program, goes out to the schools for screening children before they go to school. preschool screening and even the schools in other grades.
Okay.
And if there is a problem detected,
because there could be something that's going to degenerate, make it worse, and you check it or catch it early.
That's correct. And also, we also now do adult vision screenings.
Okay.
Health fairs we go to, and which has been very, so that's something that is very very big. We just concluded about 3 weeks ago. Every year we have a poster contest for third graders, where they they draw a poster of how to prevent blindness.
Okay.
And we judge it, pick the winners. They come in, and again we have a party for them.
Right, it's good though. It teaches them.
And again, it's right. It's education. That's something that is very good. And again, we're always so besides also once a month we have a newsletter that comes out that is essentially the clients in either in written print form or recorded form.
Okay.
Some sort of like in a recorded form. And also we read that information on the radio reading service.
Okay.
Besides, the radio reading service, besides reading the newspaper.
You also give your information.
Exactly.
Right.
We inform them about what's happening with the
Right.
Lackawanna Blind Association. And also a vision support center, which again is located at 228 Adams Avenue.
Okay.
And that is assistive software, braille writers and embossers, telecommunications devices. And again, that's available for them. And we also have, of course, catalogs.
Quite a robust program.
Catalogs. So yes, we
do
cover quite a bit.
So you've been there since the 80s, involved somehow.
Right.
How long has the association been in Scranton?
The Blind Association started in 1912.
Wow.
That's when it started.
I wonder if it was probably one of the first ones.
You probably
A lot of
was.
things in Scranton you'll find were the first one. It's 1912.
Right. And I think our location, I know for years before I was even involved at the Blind Association, you always know that was Adams Avenue, 228 Adams Avenue.
Right, I even know. I could think of it right next to the Steppaker Law.
There you go. It's always there,
Assoc.
right? And it has been It has been very good. And also, I forgot to mention. We said Osaka reminded me of shopping trips.
Oh, right.
Twice a month we do take the clients shopping.
Not to Japan.
No. We take them shopping, and to usually take them to Walmart, and they enjoy that again. And that's something. Again, they can't get out on their own.
Right.
We give them a chance to do that. We also have a social club, the Shopland Social Club, which started I think they're celebrating. I'm going to say I'm not positive. That's been quite well over 50 years. And we have that's a social club where again clients meet with their.
How many people come? If I was to stop
generally,
in there,
maybe 15 to 20 in that group, and like I said, 11. Yeah. Anywhere, could be more.
Because you told me, right, 11.
Could be less on the van, yes, and there
comes
some come over. We also are affiliated. We have an advocacy group, which informs the clients about what is going on in the state level, the American Council of the Blind, any other organizations that help people with visual impairment, and that's something that is that is always very important to let them know what is happening, what services are available to them.
Right.
And it's very...
yeah, sure. It must be scary if it first becomes...
Sure.
And you need help with that.
Sure
so,
it is.
So, the stoplights, and you hear the sounds? I always said that. Is that what they're for, the tweeting sounds?
Yes, that is for, yes.
And which is which?
Which is which? Oh,
I'm sorry.
Which one? Yeah. Some of them have that is required by the American
Right. So So you hear one, and that means it's red, and one means go.
And people know we always have, like we said, a caseworker with them and helping them along. Some do walk with canes to help them.
Yeah,
some
I've
don't.
always seen people.
Everybody's different. Yeah, everybody's different. Depending on the degree of blindness.
Right. So before we wrap up today, Paul, you also have another radio program you could tell us about.
Oh yes, Music Spotlight, which airs every Friday morning at 7:30, immediately before the PELL Radio Reading Service broadcast. We feature different artists from the 60s, 70s, 80s. In fact, coming up on this week's program, we have a local artist. We're going to be featuring The Magics.
The Magics.
Who just happened to be one of the members Mike Lanzo is the father of our producer, Regina.
How about that?
And so we were going to play them, even if she didn't invite me on the show, we were going to have them. And also some other local artists, Danielle and Dakota.
Excellent.
And some of the, that's an extra feature. Again, that's a program that kind of labor of love of mine. But it's been on for years.
You have a great radio voice.
So we do that. Well, thank you very much.
Very good. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm Bernie Miapolsky, and stay tuned because we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Northeast Current. It's not surprising that parents are more likely to say they know what a 529 plan is than their teenage children do. According to Teen College Savings Barometer and the first annual Parent College Savings Study, one of the top concerns for today's college-bound teens is not being able to afford to attend the college of their choice. For parents, cost is the most important factor in choosing a college for their teen to attend, while teens look at the success rates of graduates finding employment to help make their decision. Nancy Farmer, president of Private College 529 Plans, joins us today to talk about teenagers' involvement in the college savings process and compares their degree of knowledge and participation in tuition costs to that of their parents. How does the current trend of rising tuition affect a family's ability to afford higher education?
Absolutely. You know, we just did a survey of teenagers 13 to 17 and parents of teenagers age 13 to 17. And it gives you great insight into what families are doing and what they're thinking about how they're going to pay for college in this environment. First and foremost, the good news is 90% of the families we surveyed, again, these are parents of teenagers, are saving for college. So that's very good news, very promising. The bad news is they are, for the most part, putting those assets into a general savings account, which we know, they may be earning 1% interest on those savings, while tuition's increasing 3 or 4%. So they're losing ground. The other thing we thought was really interesting, both 60% of the teenagers and 60% of the parents agree that the student will likely take on some debt in order to pay for their future college expenses. That didn't surprise us, but we were really surprised that only 22% of the students and 13% of the parents are concerned that the students are going to take on too much debt. We were really surprised by that, considering that in this current environment there's $1 trillion in outstanding student loans, and yet these teenagers and parents of teenagers aren't worried about taking on too much debt. We were really surprised by that.
What is the private 529 plan and how does it work?
Our private college 529 plan is a prepaid tuition plan. So unlike the other 100 or so 529 savings plans around the country, we have 278 participating colleges and universities. I have to make a plug, 26 wonderful colleges and universities in Pennsylvania, including Carnegie Mellon, Franklin and Marshall, Dickinson, and 23 others. Collectively, these 278 colleges and universities allow families to buy tomorrow's tuition at today's prices. So potentially, families can save thousands of dollars on the future cost of tuition. And Pennsylvania offers a very generous tax deduction for contributions to 529 plans, and that applies to private college 529 as well as the 529 savings plans, and that's $14,000 per taxpayer. So you get an extra benefit for Pennsylvania taxpayers who take advantage of 529 plans.
Where can viewers go for more information?
If you want to learn more specifically about how Private College 529 plan works, if you want to see the list of participating colleges and universities, visit privatecollege529.com. I'm the first generation in my family to graduate from high school or go to college, so clearly, being sure that this opportunity is available for as many American families and their students as possible is deeply personal. We know that the jobs of the future are going to require degrees, so we want to do everything we can to be sure that tuition is affordable, and we want to be sure that every student can attend the right college for them. I was able to attend a small liberal arts college, and I think that made all the difference in my succeeding. So You know, we want to be sure that students can attend the college that best meets their needs and be sure they can afford it without crushing debt going forward.
Anything else to add for our viewers?
Get started. I think that's the biggest problem for families. They go online and, you know, they search college savings and they're just overwhelmed. And we know it is, but, you know, just pick a plan and get started because, you know, it's like retirement or buying a home. You're going to pay for college over time. It's one of the largest investments families make. So you're going to pay for it over time, and if you plan and save in advance, you're going to earn interest, and if you borrow later, you're going to pay interest. So get started.
And that wraps it up for us today at Northeast Current. We'll see you next time. I'm Bernie Mayapolsky. Thank you very much. Welcome to Northeast Current. Sometimes I'll say that people are like, they look at me like, what?
Oh,
Oh
my God.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I like clapping that sucker.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
Ludo. I am the chef of the future. I can't, this doesn't make sense. We'll bring up the, I'm going to tell him he's a voice for radio.
Oh, don't have a face for radio.
Not a fake guy. Paul Trama.
I'll tell you, I think for a long